Hey, internet people, Chris here. So a few days ago, I'm frantically browsing Twitter in a semi-sentient attempt to come back to the world of the living after my fever has come down, and lo and behold, I bump into Apricot Froot dropping a 90-page manifesto about her ex-husband detailing his abuse. Initially, I put on a back burner and figured I'll go over it carefully when I'm feeling better, but then I see a post after post after post telling the world how much of a piece of shit Froot is. Thousands on top of thousands of likes for seemingly anyone who says Froot bad on their timeline. And then I bump into this post, where I find out that not only did she cheat on her husband while he was actively deployed in the military, but she attacked Silvervale during the Hogwarts Legacy arc and collected money from her audience in a scammed charity stream. So imagine my surprise when I start researching Froot and this situation, and none of that turns out to be true. Now, just like your average VTuber's enjoyer, I am a moth to the flame when drama erupts. But unlike seemingly a lot of these people, I don't have an innate hatred for women that makes me blind to reality in a way that makes me come across like I'm defending someone's poor military veteran husband who in all actuality is, or at least was according to the receipts that we'll see at the time of those receipts, a homophobic, unhinged lunatic who took pleasure in emotionally abusing his partner as he desperately tried coercing her into performing sexual acts she was uncomfortable with. Let's jump into it. As always, everything is timestamped, so enjoy and remember to subscribe.
And people actually, there were apparently a dozen or so people that actually read all 90 pages. And after they looked into it, they found out that, in fact, she was the one that had cheated on her husband while he was on deployment. So if you look at the engagements here, let's read some of these. And I'd be pretty mad too if my wife fucked 5 different men instead of me. She put out a twit longer begging for attention and looking for, approval for cheating on her fucking husband. It's crazy.
Hey, look, I understand falling short when you do research. I've done that myself in the past. None of us are perfect. But this was no research. That was Asmongold literally claiming that a lot of people say something, so it must be true. And he's not alone in this either. So what we're gonna do is name and shame, baby. Here's some inbred loser named Shah who says, not only did you cheat on your boyfriend who was in the military, you were very bitchy with Silvervale during the Hogwarts Legacy bullshit, and you collected money in a charity stream, but you never actually paid it out to said charity. You deserve everything you get and more. Now, do us a favor and remember that last part, the you deserve everything you get and more. Here's another Muppet named Vestreza claiming he wasted 20 minutes of his life reading the 48-page slop so we don't have to, and the TLDR is that she cheated on her husband and then he became abusive and suddenly Froot is claiming to be the victim. Now, this post is fascinating because not only are the messages timestamped and there are examples of bad abuse before the cheating allegedly happens timeline-wise, but the doc doesn't actually mention Froot's cheating at all, and you can't go through 90 pages of receipts in 20 minutes. Also, it's 90 pages, not 48. I don't know if it's a formatting thing or what the fuck he's talking about. Here's Golden Swordsman saying that Amelia Watson is all but officially retiring and people like Kayson are supporting Froot, the cheating whore. Here's Mama Oko saying Froot superfans are funny. Guys, she won't fuck you, she will cheat on you. Max Przychodzień, cheating on your partner, let alone husband in military, and then suddenly he is abusive and you are the victim? Do some people think anything justifies cheating? By the way, probably, yeah, you fucking idiot. And if you feel lust towards anyone but your partner, you already failed. I would rather be killed than be cheated on. Now, the fact that this guy is a certified virgin aside, I wonder if he has any words about Froot's partner who constantly threatens to cheat. Well, he won't, because he hasn't read the fucking document. Here's a Gabe Newell impersonator saying you're terrible for cheating on your husband who is protecting your country but also trying to play the victim when you're exposed. You are what is wrong with modern dating. Now, I have no fucking idea why someone impersonating Gabe Newell, why a gimmick account to do with the CEO of Valve is taking part in like VTuber drama shit that's going on. But if you go through this dude's feed, he is constantly berating Froot for this, and he has done absolutely no research into anything, which is just, bro, Elon's Twitter is so fucking cooked. I genuinely wonder what actual Gabe Newell would feel like if he saw that some absolute cunt of a lunatic is using his likeness and his name and his life's work in order to defend domestic abuse. Oh, fuck me, man. Here's someone called Gatekeeper saying her ex might be an asshole, but remember, she cheated and then harassed Pickamy and Silvervale over Hogwarts legacy. She is not even close to innocent. First of all, harassed is a strong word. And second of all, this is about the most nuance you can get from the Froot bad side of the fence. Now, some of them will admit that maybe her husband is problematic as well, but fucking find me any evidence at all of them talking about how problematic he is. Find me any comments at all that are to do with the actual screenshots that she's showed. You won't, because they haven't looked through the document. Here's Hancock. Wait, so your husband who's in the military came back to find out you were cheating on him, he leaves you and somehow you're the victim? Clown emoji. Karisu saying that anyone defending her be like, I love NTR, which is short for basically just like cheating porn in Japanese. Henman, you cheated on your husband, you are not the victim. We live in a society posting every time and then women dodging accountability meme. Now, do keep in mind that I'm not pulling a rev here. Every single post I've showed you has thousands on top of thousands, sometimes closer to tens of thousands, nearing on hundreds of thousands of likes. The amount of people who are currently shitting on Froot who have not looked at the document is absolutely insane. This is not the case of a few fringe fucking lunatics on Twitter saying something, getting 4 likes on each of their posts and then ref pretending like it's some mainstream opinion. No, no, no. These are popular content creators with hundreds of thousands, in some cases millions of followers, shitting on a victim of domestic abuse because when she dropped a 90-page document with receipts, they couldn't be fucked to look at any of them. Now, you couldn't make this up. People calling her a whore, a piece of shit, saying that they would rather die than be cheated on is absolutely insane. This is like some allergic to grass type of behavior. Bro, if this was the 20th century, then German scientists would take one glance at most of these people I just mentioned and immediately decide that lobotomy is the only way forward. It's unbelievable how strongly these people feel about something they've done literally zero reading into. Just watched some rap video or trusted the words of someone who watched a rap video or just went with the flow because people on Twitter are mentally unhinged. So, now that we've named and shamed a little bit, let's talk about the fucking sociopath that is Froot's ex-husband, and there is no rock bottom with this dude. I'll be arriving at all of my conclusions, mostly based on the screenshots provided within the document. I'll try and not take Froot's words directly and rather just look at the receipts, but I'm gonna be honest with you, as we go through this, the dude is more and more unhinged, and at some point, when he's displaying certain levels of absolutely wild behavior, I'm gonna be more inclined to just take her word for some other things, because I can imagine this dude doing pretty much everything she talks about in the document. Do keep in mind that all of the screenshots are using some kind of an archive service, which means that the order of reading them goes from bottom up rather than top down like you would usually. So whatever message is at the very bottom, that's the first message, and then you read going up. Right off the bat, we're jumping into some proper domestic, where Froot's ex-husband tallies how supportive he is versus how unsupportive she is by saying, "Who bought you a plane ticket last minute with no planning whatsoever because I fucked up but you refused to leave the airport? Me. Who got molested at said airport because of the unplanned tickets I got you? You. But who was there instantly to give you some sort of help and advice at a moment's notice? That's right. Me. I can keep on going, but when I reverse the list to see what you've done for me, when have you been there for me? Do you know how basic your responsibilities as a wife were?" Straight away, very nicely, blaming her for getting molested. But do you know what his actual help and advice was? using emoticons and short answers when Froot was describing how she got sexually assaulted at an airport. How supportive was he? You tell me, based on these screenshots. He started off good, saying I'm really scared when Froot was describing the incident. He then said oh fuck and a frowning face emoticon when Froot was describing how a phone is about to die. Another sad face when Froot describes remembering the details for the police, asked her how she's doing and whether she was in a public area when it happened, and then ended it with a grimacing emoji. Now, the point here isn't that this is the worst of the worst, because it really isn't. We're starting off slowly. I'm easing you guys into the absolute fucking mental shit you're gonna see very soon. But do you consider this worthy of being used as ammo against Froot later on to show how good of a dude he is? Bro, come on. This is the help and advice that you can expect from a partner in a situation this tragic and mentally draining? But we're only just getting started, and that is nowhere near the worst that we're going to talk about. So Froot describes how her ex-husband was adamant about trying a form of sexual activity that she was unwilling to do. Now, context clues, as far as I can read them, imply that what she means is anal sex, but there's no confirmation, so I will let you guys decide for yourself if you read the document. Within 40 minutes of Froot initially telling him that she doesn't want to do it, he started guilt-tripping her. To which when Froot responded with, "You're guilt-tripping me," he said, "Yes, absolutely." Following that, he'd continue guilt-tripping her by saying that he's glad it's now clear where they stand on how far she'd go for him versus how far he'd go for her. He said he won't die without trying it at least once, to which when Froot asked what he's trying to say, he said that maybe he will fuck somebody else at some point, as in he was threatening to cheat if she doesn't do it, or maybe it will be after she dies, because he doesn't see the point of a relationship where they don't try things they're uncomfortable with. When Froot described she's afraid and it would hurt, his response was, "If you're not going to die, what are you scared of?" He followed up with, "Society tells us to stay with one woman, yet she won't support me in what she's uncomfortable with." Yet again, kinda threatening to cheat. This continues on with him saying he's disappointed in her, that he won't go an extra mile for her if she won't do it for him, that she's selfish, and that he does the classic thing of threatening suicide because she won't let him fuck her in the ass. But there's more still. Froot has dyslexia. Froot told her ex that she has dyslexia. Dyslexia, in some people, causes working memory loss. Froot says that she's one of those people. So what was her husband's reaction to that? He says she uses it as an excuse, calls her retarded, says he won't stick around if she keeps pulling shit like this with him because he wants a wife that is competent and that he sees a rocky future with her. But there's more still, because remember, this dude is a fucking sociopath. So just like a good basket case would, he comes out as massively homophobic, for no reason at all, and aggressively attacks Froot for accepting a mental disorder of gayness, that she's wrong for thinking gay people are normal, that that's not how nature created us, claims that Froot is blinded by emotion to not realize how unscientific gayness is, which is quite ironic really, that he has higher standards and that he won't associate with a woman like Froot because she's probably a closeted gay herself. Do you know why he did that? Do you know why he had this outburst? Because Froot watched a Yuri anime called Citrus on release, which depicts lesbian love. That's it. He went wild and incredibly homophobic because she watched a fucking anime. But here's the thing, chat, there is more. Froot says that in 2018 she developed depression and started drinking as a means of coping. I'm not sure if she was diagnosed or not, but do you know what her husband had to say about it? Everything was easier before she decided to be depressing, and that he can't fully love her if their sex life withers away as a result of that depression. Speaking more about his abuse, let's talk about control. So he tried forcing Froot to get a joint bank account with him, and when she refused, he claimed it's because she doesn't believe he's worth her time. Froot claims her bank account was controlled by her mum, and when her mum saw their conversation, she claimed he was controlling and that it's bad. What was his response? That he isn't going to bother because he doesn't see them as equals, and he's tired of people not giving him 100% of their effort. Here's a fun fact, chat. With everything I've showed you so far, we're barely halfway through the document. Further on, as you will read the document, you'll see examples of him claiming disrespect and insulting her because she took too long to respond, for instance. So she was literally not allowed to go anywhere without her phone for too long. He got insecure that Froot would ask her housemates to fix a cooker instead of coming to him, a dude living across the ocean, for advice before she spoke to them, and he'd belittle her while at it all the fucking time. Oh, and how about the little instance where she told him her friend said he has a great voice, the husband has a great voice, because they overheard him while Froot was on the phone with him. And what was his response to this? He got pissy about how he values his privacy and doesn't want other men complimenting his voice because that's gay and it's creepy, and that Froot again doesn't care about his feelings. Luckily, after this, he thoroughly, genuinely apologized for his unhinged behavior and started taking real steps to become a better human being and deal with his aggression issues and a small dick syndrome. Oh no, sorry, wrong script. He didn't do any of those things, and instead, after convincing her to move to America to move in with him, he fucking kicked her out of his house because she refused to fire a gun at a range, which he considered to be disrespect, and instead what she wanted to do was just watch him fire the gun instead. But that was when they moved in together, right? Because before they moved in together, when they would talk online and she wouldn't do her hair or she wore her PJs or was basically low maintenance, if you will, he'd call her ugly and make her get out of bed, sort herself out before showing herself to him. He also tried getting her to quit her university education and move in with him instead. But totally not a control freak. What I think we should all focus on instead is the fact that Froot allegedly cheated on this absolute gem of a man. How could you ever do anything to jeopardize a relationship this pure with a fucking sociopathic freak? Now, it was at this point of the doc that I started losing my shit when I was reading it initially, which, to be fair, that's on page 84 out of 90, so I think I did well, all things considered. Now, keep in mind going forward that all of the people I mentioned, and will keep mentioning, who upon finding out a 90-page document dropped, jumped to attacking Froot for being a cheater and focusing on her rather than themselves having had a look through the document. These people are inevitably defending an abusive sociopath by helping to hide his actions and by helping to discredit Froot. Froot's ex threatened suicide because she wouldn't try something he wanted in bed, which is not just a form of emotional manipulation, it's also a form of rape. But all of these people like Asmongold, like Mama Oko, like Max Przychodzień, like Hancock, like the Gabe Newell impersonator, run the fence for that. When I show you screenshots of Froot's ex being an abusive control freak who wanted to isolate her away from her loved ones, and you didn't know any of that, then it's because of all of these people I mentioned. They are more than competent, but they didn't care. Because to all of them, Froot is a woman, so as long as she makes a single mistake, it's fair game to dismiss her husband being an abusive fucking freak. But then, during the recording of this video, out of nowhere, it dawned on me, guys. To fight unhinged, you must become unhinged. So my view going forward is that until each and every single one of these people come forward, delete their dogshit tweets, and apologize to Froot, then they believe that for as long as you were cheated on, you're allowed to demean, isolate, abuse, and rape your partner, all with their very own shining stamp of approval. Here's what you need to understand my view is. If you're a woman, then all of these people and their communities are a threat to your well-being. If you're a man, then all of these communities are a threat to your ability to form healthy relationships. All of these people who pretend like Froot has lost human rights because she cheated on her partner, while not saying a word about how he used to abuse her, are to be blamed. One little psycho called Nesby on Twitter made a list that they since deleted, naming everyone who supported Froot when she dropped her manifesto. So, consider this video our very own, albeit incredibly incomplete list. A list of people who, until they delete and apologize, are a threat to women and supporters, or at the very least enablers of domestic abuse. Now, I should also mention that Asmongold has since deleted his stream that I showed you a snippet of, and I am waiting for the rest to do the same. So, now that we've established her ex is fucking mental, let's look at the allegations. Right off the bat, the big one, her being a cheater. So, the cheating situation is actually pretty straightforward, even though people seem to want to make it as confusing as possible. In advance, I apologize for the quality of some of the screenshots, but this is me yoinking it off of people who yoink them off of other people who yoink them off of other people. So this is just how many times the situation has circled around, and yet Muppets on the internet still keep saying shit without providing a single receipt for it. What you're seeing on screen right now is Desynchronizer's Facebook post. Desync is the ex-husband in question, the military guy. In here, he claims that Froot cheated on him with another man while he was deployed. So here's an exchange between Froot and her ex-mod Sinner, where what we're reading is basically sexting, right? They were masturbating while thinking about one another, and this exchange happened on 11th of February 2018. It's pretty clear that this is some kind of a sexual relationship. Following that, 2 months later, on 16th of April 2018, Sinner is complaining about being strung along, where Froot explains her side of things. Now, these two screenshots appear in almost every video I could get my hands on about Froot cheating. I've heard some people mention that she cheated with 5 guys, but I've seen nobody post any evidence whatsoever of this being the case. So if anyone has any receipts at all that point in this direction, again, feel free to drop them down below. So at this point, people make a variety of arguments about the cheating itself, whether it happened, to what extent it happened, those kinds of things. I've seen people claim that the cheating did not happen because Froot herself claimed it did not happen. Now, if your read is that Froot's denying cheating because sexting isn't an actual intercourse and therefore it's not real, then I would say that's absolute horseshit. There are many forms of cheating, ranging from emotional to physical, and to pretend like sexting another dude doesn't count is just really fucking stupid. Now, I personally don't think that this is why Froot is denying what happened, though. So then I've seen people defend Froot's cheating because her ex-husband is a manipulative piece of human garbage. That is somewhat fairer. I despise cheating, but you have to be an unhinged, maidenless virgin to think that there's no grey area in cases of abuse that doesn't so much excuse what happened, but it does at least explain it. I personally, though, again, don't think that this is why Froot is denying what happened. Here's what you need to understand. I am an absolute relationship guru. So humor me for a sec and let me explain my hyper-advanced cheating theory to you. It is complicated, so if you need to re-listen at any point, then by all means. Now, in order to cheat on a partner, a few criteria have to be met. One of these criteria is being in a fucking relationship. So here's a screenshot from Froot's ex to her from January 14th, 2018, a month before the sexting thing, where he tells her that she's single now and dumps her. And below that are Discord DMs between Froot and her brother, where she talks about being dumped. Now, I might be wrong, because again, I have a hyper-advanced Harvard therapist level understanding of relationships, but I think that if you dump someone, they're allowed to explore their other options. Again, if anyone's got receipts to clarify the timeline even further, feel free to drop them down below. Here's the absolute banger part of this. Go ahead and ask me where I got that snip from. You know, the one that says that her ex broke up with her. Where do you reckon I found it, eh? You will not believe my journalistic competence. I got it from the fucking document she posted. That's all I did. I watched one rat video, I've read the 90 pages, and I did some googling around. That's all it fucking took. Let's play the devil's advocate for a sec though. Let's say that she did cheat, right? She full on fucked 5 different dudes and was yelling at her ex-husband for having a small cock while doing it. You lot do understand that it doesn't make a single part of his abuse any less bad, yeah? Setting aside the fact that he was already abusive timeline-wise before any cheating allegedly happened, you can wrap your minuscule fucking troglodyte brain around the idea that it doesn't remotely excuse his unhinged, control-freak, suicide-threatening if he doesn't get his way sexually part of the equation, yeah? So past the cheating allegation, which is the most serious of them, we've got an allegation that Froot attacked Silvervale. So I looked into it. Silvervale played Hogwarts Legacy on stream. A lot of unhinged people attacked Silvervale for playing a Harry Potter IP because J.K. Rowling is a TERF, even though she has nothing to do with the game itself, even though there are millions of Harry Potter fans who are allies and just love the IP. So then, Froot must have also attacked Silvervale, right? I mean, Silvervale cried as a result of the relentless bullying, so Froot must have had a part in that, right? Yeah, not really. What she did say is that everyone makes mistakes and she still loves Silvervale. She jumped into a Twitch chat and said that as she was crying, and then later on Twitter said that she will donate to a trans charity. That's all that happened there. The deepest reading into it you can have is that she believes that playing Hogwarts Legacy was a mistake. That's literally all there is to it. Keep in mind, the cunt Twitter user from earlier, the Shahenshah dude, said that she deserves everything she gets and more, because she was a bitch to Silvervale, which didn't happen, and scammed her audience in a charity fundraiser. So let's talk about the fundraiser now, shall we? So I bet that now, finally, we get all the spicy drama. So Froot must have done a charity stream, raised a gazillion Roblox, and then took them all and ran, right? No. Again, not right. She said on Twitter that for every like she gets, she'll donate to a trans charity called Mermaids. That charity itself ended up being somewhat controversial. Froot never donated the money and said that she will find a different charity to donate to, which to the best of my knowledge never happened. That's the story. She didn't run a charity stream. She didn't steal from her audience. Did she do a bad? Yeah. Should she donate the 53k? Yeah. Is Shah, the Twitter user who self-describes as a classical fascist, a bottom-feeder moron who should be spat on? Yeah. That will be it for today's video. As always, thank you all for watching. I genuinely appreciate those of you who watched till the very end, and I'm glad to see how many people have come out in support of Froot. If you enjoy this video, please do not hesitate to like and subscribe, and if you enjoy my content but haven't done so already, I invite you to join my Discord. Aside from all the cool people we got there, I'm trying to amass all sorts of genuine folk so that when stuff like this drama happens, I have a source of people I can ask to help with research to ensure I can produce these videos in a somewhat timely manner, with most, if not all, receipts necessary to get the points across through the thickest of skulls. I'll end the video on a happy note with Froot's statement, who focused on the positive feedback and not the negative cretins instead. Good night guys, and I'll talk to you very soon.
I was even worried about turning my stream on today, but actually it was much... I was pleasantly surprised about how nice chat was to me, and it still is, and I just want to say that I appreciate you guys a lot, and I don't want to be too parasocial, but I'm feeling a lot better now. It just feels like I'm not alone, you know? Like, there's a lot of people that will be there for me. I just want to be there for you too. I want to be there for my friends as well. I want to pay them back.